Technology is used all around the world. One of the most common examples is social media. We use it every day in our lives, and some people use it to make money or build a side hustle. But as it has a lot of benefits, it also has some disadvantages. And with that, a question comes to our minds. Does it help us feel happy? Or does it threaten our lives and lead us to being unhappy? As we all know, it helps some people, and sometimes it ruins the things that we have done. So I would say it will be in the middle of these things. As in the documentary Social Dilemma, they tell that big companies like Google, Facebook and Instagram have our data and they sell it. But it is against digital privacy. But what is digital privacy, you ask? Digital privacy is like normal privacy, but it is online. But these big companies ignore digital privacy because they keep records of us and what we do online. And then, with an algorithm, they analyze us and how do we act and react on specific topics in social media. This is where advertising starts to be specific about things you want.
I think technology is a blessing for us when we use it correctly. But if we use it for bad things, then it is a threat to human future. Digital privacy is when we use the internet or social networking sites without our giving personal information. We shouldn't give our personal information because there are so many hackers outside and they can steal and leak your information without your permission. So you should be careful who are you telling and where you are writing your personal information to avoid a situation like that. We can't trust anyone we meet online unless we know them. You know that time when you want something so much and you talked about it with your friends constantly, watch or do research about it, and then every advertisement pops up on your phone. Isn't it creepy? Our every action is being watched, tracked, and measured. They know our personality and behaviors just by looking at our data. They know our mood swings, our characteristics, just by looking at them. So a lot of people think that our data is being sold. But the real question is, what do they do with our data? They make a model of us from the information they have to predict our actions. There are three main goals: achievement goal, growth goal, and advertisement goal. When these numbers increase, the amount of money they gain increases too. I think manipulation is the center of everything they do. We are manipulated to be online 24/7. To give an example from my experiences, whenever I'm in online class, even if I'm focusing on the class, if I lose my focus just a second, my brain automatically says to look at my phone because there are so many new things to discover and look at. It is actually called design technique. Relationships. Hacking our psychology is the main reason that distorts our relationships. Social media really affects us. Our insecurities are becoming more obvious because society's beauty standards getting more and more unrealistic. Many celebrities Photoshop their body to feel better, but we grow up seeing them and thinking they are perfect, so we just try to be like them. Unfortunately, it is proven that self-harm has increased among the teenagers between 14 and 18 years old. Moreover, Gen Z, our generation, has either anxiety or depression. Social media really breaks the connection with our loved ones, family, friends, especially with ourselves. We tend to spend our time alone in our bedrooms rather than spending quality time with our loved ones. Another topic I want to inform you about is artificial intelligence. Many people are afraid of artificial intelligence controlling the world. Actually, it is. Algorithms have their own mind. A person just writes it and the machine changes itself. The algorithm tries to find and recommend to you what is closest to your interest. Algorithms provide everyone to see different things. They have also started to convince people to believe in false information. For example, there are many fake news about coronavirus. It is not just leading our future in a worse way, but we don't know what is correct or wrong. Algorithms and manipulative politicians are getting better at confusing people what to believe. And this manipulation divides society into pieces. If these companies won't stop to protect their rights and privileges rather than user protection, then we can't solve this problem. So how can we solve this issue? Technology, companies, and artificial intelligence are markets that undermine democracy and freedom, so they should be outlawed. Anything that is more important and worth more than anything alive, we should turn this upside down. Artificial intelligence needs to be used for the user's values, goals, and interests, rather than corporations figuring out how to pull our attention towards what they want us to see. As a user, we can turn off the notifications, delete the apps we don't use anymore, And we should also consider the source of the information that we want to share. They are so simple but so helpful.
Technology is all around us in our daily lives. It's easy to reach and useful, but does it have any flaws? Is it a threat or a bliss? Technology is definitely bliss, but it still has some flaws. Digital privacy is your personal information on the internet. It's like your personal life, but it's on the internet. Your privacy can be violated in many ways. Cyberstalkers, cyberbullies can be an example of external violations. There are internal violations, which are your privacy being violated by the social network by itself. For example, social network can sell your data or manipulate you. There aren't any laws against this in any country. Technology's only flaw is in privacy violations. It can affect our lifestyle. It can harm our relationships with others and damage our communication skills. It can cause us to become antisocial. Technology is a wonderful thing, but it still has some flaws. If we can raise awareness with the help of the documentaries and commercials, it can become flawless.
Hello. Today I'm going to talk about the documentary Social Dilemma, which is about social media networks and technology. This documentary is about how social media networks manipulate us and use our information. Is technology a threat or bliss? I think technology is both threat and bliss. We can't ignore the benefits while there's a lot of harm to us. Of course, it has benefits if it's not used too much. What is digital privacy? Digital privacy is a program to protect our health information, banking information, personal data, access and location over the internet. Digital privacy is very important. If our information is not protected and known to everyone, we will be against many things such as theft, copying of information. Are we manipulated by social media? I think that we are manipulated by social media. For example, we look at a garment on Instagram, then we went to Google, we immediately see a lot of things about that garment and they market to us. Another example is a lot of things come up on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. And they try to direct us to certain things. Does social media affect ourselves, our relationships and our wills? Social media affects our opinions on many issues, and this effect is often harmful. I even think that social media determines our personality, because we believe everything that comes across without being sure of accuracy. Human willpower can't be accepted to compete with some of the most sophisticated AI on the planet. What can we do to develop healthy relationship with technology? Artificial intelligence is widely used today. It is wrong to compare AI with human willpower, because AI can't fully express emotions, but human willpower does. In terms of information, AI is ahead of human willpower. If we use both human willpower and AI together, we will be able to develop healthy relationships with technology. As a result, we must use technology very carefully, not give our personal data to everyone.
Everybody needs privacy, even digital privacy. But what is digital privacy? It means internet information that we don't want it to be accessible for people that we don't want them to see. But web browsers access this information and sell them to other companies to make money. The companies use this information to make relatable advertisements, make relatable videos such as suggestions, etc. Some people argue that what they are doing is illegal, but no, it's legal, but it's unethical. And after they learn what is going on behind, they still use it. Why? Because it's an addiction. It's not easy to overcome.
14 years ago, with the use of social media and mobile devices, our lives had completely changed. But we weren't aware of how big this threat was. But what is technology doing to us? Andrew Levis once said, "If you don't pay for the product, you are the product." Well, that's the main point. Big companies earn money from commercials. The advertisers pay a lot of money for these commercials so that they don't want to take risks. They want to ensure that the product reaches the consumer. So, these big companies should draw your attention and extend your screen time. But how can they do that? These companies collect your data, which is not legitimate and against digital privacy. With their AIs, they are able to predict what you are going to do next and show something that will hook you to keep you online. The more data they have, the more true predictions. But while doing that, do they care the effects that they made on humanity? Let's see. According to some research, after the start of common usage of technology, self-destruction in teens has increased rapidly. They believe the unrealistic sense of beauty and they find themselves ugly. In addition, doctors said there are many young women which want to have plastic surgery to resemble how they look with filters. Furthermore, spreading wrong information is easy now. People are sharing conspiracy theories on Facebook and the algorithm can find you many people to believe that. And this is a significant problem in pandemic as you know the theories about the vaccine. Also, the situation is same in propaganda too. Can you believe that ISIS can gather supporters via these websites? We are polarized more than ever now, as you can see in the USA elections. 64% of the people who joined extremist groups on Facebook did so because the algorithms steered them there. The propaganda, the manipulation of technology, polarize us, undermine the freedom and the democracy. Before the situation gets worse, we should take action immediately. The bigger, the harder to fix. These platforms should be regulated urgently, and governments should draft new laws, including digital privacy. They can't play with our behaviors, they can't play with humanity, they can't manipulate us. We will achieve this with the will of society. These platforms' aim should be, how can we make world a better place, not a worse one. We just want humanly designed technologies. Thank you.
In my opinion, technology is in some areas a threat, in others not. We can have the control on how it threatens or affects us. We have to know how to use the internet efficiently before getting the control in our hands. The disadvantages of the net will be severe if you don't understand how it works. Let's talk about privacy. One person may be comfortable with sharing their name, home address, and more on the web, while another may be uncomfortable with sharing any of these informations anywhere. Digital privacy is valid when the information taken from the user is within his or her comfort zone. In most cases, we agree on the privacy terms of the site or the app without even knowing what we agree on. This documentary covers up almost all aspects about this topic very nicely. The documentary talks about how social media ruins our lives and how they sell our data to advertisers. To prevent these big issues, we have to teach everyone about the net and how it works.
The Social Dilemma documentary is talking about how technology controls our lives. Unfortunately, we do not realize we are addicted to it. So, it can be a threat and a bliss at the same time. If we can use it properly, it can prevent us from having a lot of benefits. But if we use technology unnecessarily or in the wrong way, it can cause damage to us. Firstly, to keep our personal information safe, social media platforms use digital privacy. But some platforms, which have the same purposes, share our data to others. And I think we are manipulated by them. For example, some social platforms that we have never used before can have and use our personal data. And I think it should be illegal and impossible for social media platforms to sell our personal data. And if they keep doing this, they can lose customers' trust. Secondly, as the documentary mentioned, sometimes social media platforms can make us believe something that don't ever exist in our daily lives. So we must be careful about what we believe. We mustn't believe everything we see on the internet.
Unfortunately, we can't compete with some of the powerful AIs in the world. So when we create them, we must be careful about what we have created. We can make a code to shut down them for an emergency situation. Lastly, how we can make sure that other families, teachers, school leadership understand these issues. We can teach society about raising awareness to use technology safely. We can make public meetings or we can make brochures to deliver people.
To my way of thinking, technology is both blessed and a threat. Social media, where we are all intertwined, offers us great things. Quick and easy communication, fun or educational content, and much more. However, it may be a threat to our bliss. Dopamine is a chemical released in our brains when we perform fun and exciting activities, such as eating, making money, taking drugs, falling in love. In every activity we enjoy, the brain releases dopamine. This is the brain's way to say, cool, let's do it again. In one study, mice whose dopamine-secreting parts of the brain were replaced are on the verge of starving. Even though they are very comfortable reaching the food, no matter how hungry they are, they have no desire to eat. Since they cannot enjoy this situation, they cannot make it a behavior. In today's world of unlimited resources, we can instantly access any information or person via social media. As a result of being constantly exposed to sharing, we are constantly releasing dopamine. Our brain goes into what's called the dopamine cycle. As a result, we are starting to want more and more. Uncertainty literally drives our brains crazy. Wondering where and who came from that notification sound, wanting to see who liked your photo, your dopamine levels peaked. Especially if you are talking about yourself, if your posts are about yourself on social media, this reward system doubles up. Your need to check notifications, your need to constantly scroll through Facebook, Twitter, TikTok and Instagram, your desire to watch all videos and read new news never stops. You are entering a tiring process that you cannot focus on. You start to hinder your business, the pleasure you get from real relationships is starting to decline. There is a similar situation actually, where you become addicted to something unreal but you cannot stop it. The more you do it, the more you want it. And you slowly start to not enjoy or concentrate on real life. This condition distracts a person from their real life, and since this is the only way to release dopamine, the person becomes addicted to it. It is called maladaptive daydreaming. Maladaptive daydreaming is a psychiatric condition. This disorder is not part of the new edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. It doesn't have any official treatment, but some experts say it's a real disorder that can have real effects on a person's daily life. So what I'm trying to say here is being addicted to social media, being in the dopamine cycle can really harm us psychologically and can be defined as a mental disorder in the future. Social media has come to such a point that it takes away the pleasure we got from our real life by trying to manipulate us to stay on the screen more. The pleasure we got from our real life can sound simple, but it's actually our main purpose in life. To sum up, the companies simply destroy our lives just for money that they can't even spend.
I think technology can be both a threat and a bliss, because although it makes our lives easier, it threatens our health, safety and our relationships. Digital privacy is when you can use the internet and connected devices without compromising your information. Social media platforms sell our data to gain more money and to get advertisements. In other words, they sell their users like products, and I don't think it's a good thing for the users. But if you don't want them to sell your data, you should read the terms carefully before you sign into any social media platform, and these terms ensure selling your data is legal.